Tommy Bridewell nearest camera there. The Ducati on the left of picture. The start into that scary first turn then at Ritchie's. As soon as the lights go out, and both Taron McKenzie and Scott Redding get brilliant getaways, absolutely side by side. I think the Yamaha has edged it out, and here comes Josh Brooks brilliantly through from the second row. He just gets through past Scott Redding, his teammate, as they head down to Wilson's and that first hairpin where so much can happen. Let's hope everybody gets cleanly through there. It's Taron McKenzie leading the two Ducatis. Beautiful aerial shot as McKenzie heads for the big rapid left-hander.
Yeah, Bridewell made a good start in fourth. Also, there's Dan Linford. I saw a yellow bike anyway. It's Forres up in fifth now.
Charlie Forres in fifth, and Danny Buchan's made a good start ahead of Dan Linford as they drop into Agos. Oh, look at that move by Bridewell on Scott Redding. This is Tommy being patient, James, like he told you he would be.
Yeah. And one of the things we thought about Redding is, would he go straight off the start? I mean, it's all right learning the track on the racing line and being quick over one lap, but you've got to run offline first few laps. Somebody's up the inside of you, you've got to be around the outside of somebody else, you know, and that sometimes takes a little bit more learning.
So they storm down the Bentley Straight now, way up above 180 miles per hour before coming over the crest of the hill and then hitting the brakes underneath the Bennett's Bridge.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Even on the bike that I do, the road bike that I do the flying lap on, the talking lap, 170 miles an hour on the clock down there. So these guys, it's above 180 by a long way. You were impressively gasping for breath, James. You certainly illustrated what hard physical labour it is. Look at McKenzie here, Jack. Yeah, he's certainly gone for a gap straight off the bat here, hasn't he, with the three Ducatis absolutely in line astern as they chop left through that final turn at Murray's, and then the kink right up the long hill, up the centre straight, across the start and finish line. It's a long drag up to the finish line there. The front four with Danny Buchan just nestling in behind them on the FS3 Racing Kawasaki. Buchan, of course, blooming with confidence after that first race win at Knockhill a fortnight ago. Yeah, Tommy Bridewell just having a look down into Wilson's. You've got to make it clean there, Jack. You can't just have a little go. It's got to be the nothing or a decisive up the inside. Oh, that was... Scott thought about it. He did. And weird little places that in the Palmers. Quite difficult to pass there. Javi Forres is there behind Buchan, ahead of Linford, and Mossie's gone through. Mossy has gone through, and Andy Irwin on Linford. Linford's got squeezed back to 9th place, not where the North Yorkshireman particularly wanted to be. Yeah, well, Bridewell's going to have to get going here, because I think if he doesn't, I think that Redding will be having a go at him at some point. So McKenzie leads it. He had a gap of 0.37 of a second at the end of lap one. Brooks, Bridewell, Redding. Bridewell in the slipstream now of Brooks. Forrest is 6th. Peter Hickman's in 10th, 11th for Laverty, 12th for Ray, ahead of Stapleford. Hector Barber in 14th place, ahead of Ryan Vickers, the local boy from just 10 miles up the road in Thetford, making his return to action just ahead of Christian Iden. Through the bomb wall. More up and down than you think at this place, you know. All the airfields you tend to think as flat as a pancake, like most of them are, but this has a little bit of up and down. It's uphill on the start and finish. The bomb wall's got a real dip in it, obviously. Ooh. Patience again. You've got to be careful, because somebody chops across the front, and it doesn't take much of a tickle on the front wheel to send you down the road there. But Bridewell at least gathered himself. I thought for a moment he might lose momentum up that hill, James, because it's a hefty old climb. It is, and he definitely lost a bit of pace at Murray's, and that cost him a little bit, but not enough to allow Redding through. Fastest lap of the race, 1:48.149 for Taron McKenzie. It's interesting that the overall throughout the classes, the pace is just a little down this year. Yeah, there's a little bit of a lack of grip. Yesterday we had big wins, and I think that held times down a little bit as well. But there's a little bit of lack of grip. A lot of people with a lot of different theories. Some people saying it's probably because there's been a 2-day car test, a touring car test, and the rubber's all in the wrong place and the wrong kind of rubber. Yeah, so the touring cars were at it hell for leather for 2 full days, weren't they? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday last week. Third lap of 16, Bennett's Pretty Superbikes, race 1, Taron McKenzie, McCann's Yamaha leading the way from a trio of the Ducatis, Brooks, Bridewell and Redding. Buchan's Kawasaki 5th, the leading Honda of Forest in 6th place. Mossy and Irwin next up.
ahead of Linfoot Hickman 10th.
Bridle might be have a go here. He got a really good run out of Williams. No,
Brooks, of course, has a really impressive record here. A couple of race wins, 13 podiums.
Yeah, and he's never been slow here. He was slow here earlier this weekend, you know.
Yes.
He struggled to get going, had a lot of problems with the bike, but definitely found a setting he likes now.
Unhappy with lacking any confidence in the front of the bike. Incidentally, talking about the front of the bike, that's a whole new front end to Scott Redding's bike after that deposit this morning. He really did leave it cartwheeling, and the front of the bike needed completely replacing. Onto the fourth lap of 16. Bennett's BSB, race 1. And again, this time he does go for it and squeeze it. That's a big move at Riches, because that's a fast bend.
Good place to pass if you can. It's tight, but if you can make the second apex, there's no way the rider you pass can square it up and get to you again.
Scott Redding definitely beginning to think he could size something up here on his teammate, taking a wide route around the hairpin, just looking to see where he might squeeze through.
Yeah, he's not a panicker, isn't Redding? We've seen that.
In the background, that's Bridewell, fastest lap of the race, 1:47.81 on that last lap.
Yeah, this is the overtake up into Riches. You see the second apex coming. There it is, just there, just where the curve is. And if you're 2 feet wide there, the rider you've overtaken can get it tucked up the inside of you, but not so in that case.
There isn't any big perceptible gap there, as Buchan's sitting in fairly isolated, and Forrest, Mossy, Andy Irwin, Linfoot, Hickman.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Tommy Bridwell's got the pace here because he's already bridged that gap to Mackenzie almost.
So Taron Mackenzie, his early lead just being nibbled into here by the three Dukes. And that's
Ellison.
James Ellison in trouble with the Smiths, touring the Smiths BMW.
Well, I don't think his season could get any worse.
So approaching quarter race distance, and again you can see all the way around that huge right-hander at Coreham, Scott Redding just trying a slightly different line to the Australian ahead of him. Danny Buchan looking consistent, and two Hondas absolutely together. Look at Andy Irwin pressing the more experienced Javi Forrest. Yeah, and this is, look at this, number 46 Bridewell again having a look.
Yeah, we looked at Forrest and his teammate Andy Irwin, and it's Irwin that's looking to get in the showdown, and the spot that he wants is his teammates.
He was virtually a second quicker on that lap than Chavi. So air on our screen, Andy Irwin ahead of Mossy, Linfoot, Hickman. Fastest laps of their races for Hickman, for Michael Laverty, for Hector Barbara down in 15th place. Hector Barbara 39 times inside the top 10 in MotoGP, that guy.
Yeah.
What a record. Oh, there are the two Hondas absolutely together. And Danny Ken stopped with the MV Agusta, the 2015 Moto3 World Champion. Yeah, that's the third time the bike has unfortunately rolled to a halt this weekend.
Not massive problems, though, you know. The problems all stem from the fact that they converted it to a World Superbike spec. Oh, we've missed it, look. That's Tommy Bridle in front.
And he's got it going onto the back straight. He's got it squeezed through at Williams, perhaps?
Yeah, or Oggies. Yeah, that's what's happened.
Impressive stuff then from the Oxford Racing Ducati. Tommy Bridewell leads the way then. There is Buchan still. Buchan is running at the same pace as these lads, you know. He's just that fraction of time back and that bit of a gap back. His last lap was a 48.2.
Yeah, not just quite the pace, actually.
Only a whisker.
Yeah, it's a whisker, yeah.
So again, as they drop through Murray's, this is on lap 5 of 16. And the gap opening up beside Danny Buchan looking properly secure on his own there. It's the next chunk of riders where the big battle's going on as this is the big battle at the front. Great riding by little Taron Mackenzie taking on the Ducatis. I mean, a phalanx of Dukes here.
Yeah. Good bike though, the Yamaha. Good bike. Oh, and that's wide from Bridewell. Big mistake from Bridewell. That's an indication that he's pushing hard, Jack.
Last lap, the Brooks and Redding were faster than the two leaders on that last lap.
Yeah, and their fastest laps of the race.
And like you say, Redding's patient, James. He's sitting in there, just having little looks around Josh Brooks, but not making any outlandish attempts to pass.
No.
Everybody else super consistent at this point. The only move on that lap, Ben Curry had passed Josh Elliott into 18th place. So the 6th lap of 16. And again, this run out onto the back straight. And the new race leader, Tommy Bridewell, is leaving Taron Mackenzie now to have to fend off the BYD Ducatis. In the background, in that heat haze, is the big figure of Danny Buchan.
Yeah, even on these super bikes, loads and loads of power, but slipstreaming is still a feature that you want to use at Snetterton. Two really long straights. If you can get really tucked in behind the rider in front, you're definitely going to gain. Corrams is a lovely corner, Jack. You're in it for such a long time. Seconds and seconds. You're on the side of the tyre, your knees down. Tricky end to that corner, though. You've got to get the bike stopped for Murray's. While the bike's on its side, and you can't really brake that efficiently when your bike's then over.
So the front four still in line astern. Taron Mackenzie still running there in 2nd place. Incidentally, we sang happy birthday to his dad, Neil Mackenzie, yesterday evening. We were actually a day late. Friday, he turned 58.
Yep.
Oh, and here comes Scott Redding just moving. Oh, and getting it stopped as well.
He did, he got it stopped. Little bit of a block pass, but as clean a block pass as you'll see that. I.e., the speed mid-corner was probably down on every other lap, but he got it past clean.
So on lap 7 then, the first move of his race for Scott Redding. Been emphasising all weekend how comfortable he feels with it. These constant radius kind of corners do echo the feel of quite a lot of MotoGP tracks of the modern era.
They do, yeah. The modern era GP tracks are typically designed with some kind of CAD system, or at least on a drawing board, and they tend to be constant radius, really good camber, really even camber, so you know what you're dealing with in terms of grip going into and coming out of corners. And that, yeah, it is. It's a continental feel to it, this place.
That's why we like the old school tracks, Dave.
I'm just going to say that. That's why they're not as good, typically. Although it's a lovely circuit to ride, is it?
Shimmering in the background there, you can see the race is on, and Andy Irwin's got the better of Terry Forrest. So the young Irwin, and look at this, Luke Mossey is also pressing hard on the OMG Suzuki. So the two Hondas, Suzuki right behind them now, Peter Hickman, who's got the better of Dan Linfoot. Linfoot back to 10. Laverty Ray Idden sitting in behind.
Yeah, Hickman's
this is Andy Irwin looking strong now into top 6.
Hickman's the fastest man in that group.
Oh, Vickers has gone down.
That's Ryan Vickers is that.
Local boy Ryan Vickers was riding in 14th place for the RAF Regular Reserves Kawasaki team, having a really spirited comeback. And that's exactly what he didn't want to do. And Mackenzie's now back to 4th place. Mackenzie, as we hit the halfway stage, James, is behind the 3 Ducatis.
Yeah.
Let's see what happened.
Oh, this is the S's at the end of the straight. Yeah, so he's lost the rear coming out of the... that one would be called Nelson. Used to be just the S's, both of the corners, but that's Brundle and Nelson. Not Nelson Piquet, it's named after. It's named after Admiral Lord Nelson, because he was from round here.
He is an East Anglian chap, you're right.
No, he's from very near, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a big mistake by Brooks.
Yeah.
And that allows Taron Mackenzie to pick up. And Bridewell's gone down. Bridewell can't believe what he's done. Bridewell makes a serious mistake, really, in terms of the overall championship. He was 4 points behind Scott Redding in the championship, and he's gone down. Oh, and look, this is Taron Mackenzie dealing aggressively with Josh Brooks.
Yeah.
So Mackenzie now tried to get himself. That was going through. Williams onto the back straight. Here comes the Ducati, though, powering onto the left-hand side of the Yamaha. And sweet spot goes through.
Yeah, difficult to race against. Oh, hey! Not that difficult to race against somebody.
You wouldn't believe that such a sweet little boy could be this firm on the racetrack. Yeah, we're about to complete the half-race distance lap, and the surprise leader right now is Scott Redding.
Yeah, he's not so wide, isn't Josh? Look, doesn't leave a lot of room, but he doesn't need asking twice, does it, Mackenzie? And he's got to ride hard, because he definitely has got a straight line speed disadvantage.
So suddenly Redding leads the way with the demise of Tommy Bridewell. And he leads the way by 1.5 seconds. So Redding, Mackenzie, Brooks, Bucket up to 4th, Irwin up to top 5 ahead of Forrest, Mossey, Hickman, Laverty. Iden enters the top 10 at the expense of Linfoot. Brad Ray 12th ahead of Chase O'Halloran now in the points. Hector Barbara, Luke Stapleford 15th.
Yeah, the last lap of Bridewell's was back into the mid-47s. It was about only a 10th of a second slower than his fastest lap of the race, so he was pushing on.
So we're on the 9th lap of 16. And Redding has an almost comfortable advantage at the moment. And this is the, well, let's see what Tyrone Mackenzie can do now. He's got a bit of clear track now. He's just levered his way ahead of Josh Brooks.
Yeah, Bridewell bike in front, look, there you go. And that's down into, yeah, that's down into Agostini's, easily done, still on the brakes. And that's the reason, we didn't see that, but that's the reason.
What a simple looking fall.
Yeah, and that upset Brooks more than it upset Redding, and that gave Redding that little bit of a gap he's got now.
So Redding, therefore, is looking very confident, enjoying this track, having what he would describe as a pretty enjoyable time here. He's got another 7 laps to go after this one. Bennett's British Superbike Championship in association with Pirelli. This is race 1 at Snetterton. Danny Buchan in a very strong... Oh, and we've lost Luke Stapleford at Agos as well. So Stapleford's crashed out of 15th place, which will promote Ben Curry into the points. Curry, of course, riding, still coming off in some discomfort from those broken feet he suffered earlier in the year. On that lap, 48.3 against a 47.9 for Mackenzie.
Yeah, so that's 4/10. Mackenzie was quicker than Redding, and this is what he's got to do, just hit his points now. Not the key now for Mackenzie is not making a mistake. And this is probably the easiest circuit to make a mistake on, Jack, in terms of running in a bit. That's Stapleford walking back, yeah. Like I say, it's one of the easiest circuits in the country to make a mistake on, in terms of just going in a bit hot, running wide, losing a 10th, losing another 10th.
I was talking earlier to Peter Hickman's dad, Dave, also a successful racer himself in his younger days, and Dave was saying how he's... as you've explained before, James, every corner these lads have so close to the limit. So if they are straining to get those extra split seconds advantage, you're always risking it, aren't you? At every turn.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
Look at Mackenzie. Look at him. He's really trying to haul him in.
Mid-corner speed for Mackenzie is probably more than the 2 riders around him, I think. He seems to have a fantastic mid-corner. Really confident with the feel of that Yamaha. Generally, Yamaha over the years have always built a rider-friendly bike, Jack. It's generally not the quickest bike, but it's always a rider-friendly one.
Look at this queue of riders here, all of them chasing precious points. And it's Irwin, Forrest, Mossey, Hickman, the order at the moment. Sam Coventry has stopped at Wilson's, that's at the hairpin. Michael Laverty 9th, Christian Iden 10th, the 2 Tyco BMWs. Brad Ray has passed Linfoot. Linfoot's suffering and drifting backwards on the Tag Racing Santander Salt Yamaha. 13th for O'Halloran, 14th Barbara ahead of Curry. And just outside the points, Claudio Corti on the WD-40 Kawasaki. So storming up the hill, there go the 2 Hondas, completing the 10th lap of 16. James, do you reckon that Xavi Forrest is kind of just keep learning a bit from following Irwin? I mean, Irwin may not be, he may be a rookie on a big bike, but he knows his way around here.
Yeah, he does, and I think that's probably the case. Xavi's not had a lot of time around here, although he's a circuit that he said probably his first day here on Thursday, he had a look around and he said, yeah, I think he's going to suit me. And he's definitely still learning the place, no question. However, the whole team and Andrew are definitely learning off Forrest's setup and bike feedback and the way he works with his mechanics and his professionalism. They're really learning a lot. He's a savvy kid, is Forrest.
I think he's got such a sweet riding style. That may not be the right adjective, but he looks superb on the bike.
Yeah, he does. Yep, he does.
Strong on the brakes, isn't he? Look at the way he just sucks Andrew in as they enter the turns. And we've got one of the... Ben Curry's out.
Yeah.
Curry, who finally fought his way into the point. He was 15th.
That might be just a run on, you know.
He's just run on.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Reading Mackenzie down to 0.9 of a second, the gap.
Yeah.
That was actually best. Oh, last lap there were another couple of
2
tenths.
tenths, that's all. Yeah, Mackenzie 47.9 and a 48.1 for Reading.
But if he could keep nipping away like that, you know, there is that possibility. He's looking smooth and strong and very like his old man.
So difficult to push on and try and catch somebody and not make one single mistake. I just think that that's what he's going to have to do. And remember, Redding's bike, for me, he's definitely a little bit quicker on the straight. Talk about it, we've talked about it a lot. Is it the wings, is it the engine? I don't know, the revs, but he's definitely a little bit sharper on the straight, and that's always going to be easier for Redding to have a last lap do than it is Mackenzie.
And also, Taron has to be full on the back brake coming out of the turns to keep that moving. There's Laverty and Eden, and then Bradley Ray in behind him, being closed off by O'Halloran, Linfoot, Barbara in 14th, Corty 15th ahead of Francis.
O'Halloran had a torrid meeting. Off it a couple of times, always on the brakes, in the same place, actually, same corner down in Tagastinis. And I talked to him last night, and the problem is, there's something with the way that bike is, it's the engine braking strategy and mechanics they've got that just isn't working for him. The bike's pushing him into the corners, and it works for Taron a little bit better because he's initially really hard on the brakes and eases the brakes off and gets the thing under control before the corner, where O'Halloran is typically a little bit better than Taron on the brakes, but it's upset by the fact they just can't get the engine braking the way they want it. And that's a balance of how the clutch slip works and how the electronics work.
Let's check out the fastest lap classification, because that, of course, will decide the starting positions for race 2. And right now, Bridewell, Redding and Brooks would have an all Ducati wipe out of the front row, and then Mackenzie, Buchan and Andy Irwin would start from the second. Here is the battle involving Andy Irwin and his Honda teammate, who is back in front of him. So Xavi Forres moves back into 5th place. The experience of the Spaniard beginning to tell.
Yeah, good ride for Forres, that, and he needs to protect that 6th in the championship. Back in the front, Redding lost another 10th to Mackenzie that last lap round.
Brooks made a big mistake, and he's recovered. He's recovered to get onto the back wheel of Mackenzie, having run on.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether Mackenzie got involved in that, but that was a slow lap by Mackenzie. It was about half a second, 4 tenths slower than Redding. Like I said, that's mistake slow, and that's what I'm saying, Jack. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to push on at maximum speed, maximum pace, and not make one mistake. And he only lost, what, a tenth, 2 tenths maybe. But that's enough. If somebody at the front isn't making mistakes, well...
And Scott Redding isn't prone to making mistakes, it has to be said. So Redding, Mackenzie and Brooks still leading way. This is becoming a battle for 2nd place rather than an assault on the leader, with Buchan in 4th. Forrest now 5th ahead of Irwin, but they've got Mossy and Hickman in close attendance. O'Halloran's got the better of Bradley Ray and moved into 11th place. Linfoot, Barbara and Claudio Corti are the final point-scoring positions right now.
Looks to me, Jack, sorry, boy, it looks to me like Mackenzie's losing a little bit of grip here. He's clearly in the corners, he's having to ride slightly harder than either Brooks or Redding. And look at that, that's pace of bike has put Brooks there.
Taron Mackenzie hangs on grittily behind Josh Brooks as we approach the conclusion of lap 13, just 3 to go.
I don't think Mackenzie can do anything about this. I think he hasn't got the grip to be as aggressive and as fast where he was fast earlier on in this race.
Oh, yeah, there's been talk. Well, Tommy Bridewell was mentioning tyre length here, James, and the slightly abrasive nature of the work on these Pirellis.
There's lots of corners. And there's lots of corners here that you're in for a long time. They aren't just 90 degrees, they're lots more than 90 degrees.
Look at Irwin. You never know with Andrew, do you? He's always going to fight back. So Irwin retakes that 5th place. Gives Forrest something to think about.
If anybody is going to nick that 6th place off in the championship of Forrest, I've got a feeling it is going to be Irwin. I just have a feeling about him. He's been quick all weekend, and he'll have a little bit of a go, won't he?
Taron Mackenzie's having a bit of a go. He's losing out on the exit to the turns, isn't he?
Yeah, and he wasn't earlier on. I just don't think that Taron is going to have the tools to do anything about this. As long as Brooks doesn't make a mistake like he did there.
So the 14th lap of 16 then, Bennett's BSB, the first race of the afternoon at Snetterton. with this battle for second place behind Scott Redding, who's now in 1.8 second advantage, with Buchan comfortable in fourth.
Yeah, longer turns now, Taron is definitely losing out, and that's a problem because his bike isn't as quick on the straight either.
22 riders out on circuit at the moment, with Fraser Rogers, the tail-end boy, on the obviously making his return from quite a nasty injury on the Gaelic Kawasaki. So we've lost Elliott, Coventry, Stapleford, Allingham, Bridewell, Ellison, Vickers and Danny Kent.
Well, this has been a display of excellent riding, but patience from Redding. He just didn't panic, stuck in there, waited for people to make mistakes, and this is what he's got.
So on to the penultimate lap then. Scott Redding leads the way. The battle's still on for second place between Josh Brooks, snaking into Richards, and Taron McKenzie. Hector Barbara's shifted up to 13th place at the expense of a fading Linfoot.
Yeah, and McKenzie a little bit wide in there as well. McKenzie's absolutely pushing on, but I just don't think he's got the tools to do it now.
Just a reminder that Scott Redding is on 176 points at the moment. Josh Brooks 145, Taron McKenzie 128, Danny Buchan 119. Of course, Bridewell will stay on 172.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bridewell would be looking at only podium points now.
Yes.
I think he's fairly sure, he's assured he's going to be in the showdown, I think.
Hickman having a look over the shoulder of the equally tall Luke Mossey.
Yeah. Glad to see Luke Mossey going fairly well again, yes, and in the leading bunch.
Very, very much, of course, one of his local tracks, this one, isn't it? The lad from Royston.
Well, I mean, every time we say where he's from, we get a lot of people ticking us off. But Royston is in Cambridgeshire, we are told now, by a lot of people on social media. Thank you.
Not that far up the A11. Here are the Tyco BMWs. Very brave ride from Christian Hidden with that broken leg.
Yep.
He's still in there, right behind the deputy, Keith Farmer's deputy there, just ahead of him, Michael Laverty. And it's these left-handers that are tricky for Christian, he says, because he can't weight the bike properly. He says I did manage to get my knee down for the first time in the third practice session on a left-hander. But they've got being hounded now by Jason O'Halloran on the second McCann's Yamaha. We're on the final lap. The rest of the leaders are into the final lap. These boys are about to start their final lap. And you can see that Idden is doing everything he can to try and nose ahead of Laverty, but he's also under attack from O'Halloran. So these guys are lying 9th, 10th and 11th. Precious points, of course, particularly for Idden, as he strains to get into the top 6.
Yeah, McKenzie's slower again that lap, so he's dropped time from this man, Brooks. McKenzie eats his tyres. I'm 100% sure that McKenzie's going to say afterwards, tyre went off.
Josh Brooks will be only 7 points behind Tommy Bridewell if he sits in at second place right now. He will, of course, lose any chance of that £30,000 from the Integral Summer Triple Crown. But being beaten by this fellow is no disgrace. Scott Redding has just looked. He came here and a couple of weeks ago and did quite a lot of laps on a road bike with slick tyres on it.
Yeah,
got to know the place rather well. Yeah. Someone said, imagine being on a track day with Scott Redding.
I know.
A lot of fun as he goes past. I got caught in Scott Redding's slipstream. That would be a nice little post. And here's at the end of the back straight. Flicks it left through Brundles, right through Nelson's, heads for the bomb hole. And then this long right-hander at Corum's. And as long as he doesn't do the same as he did in his first lap of warm-up this morning, then he should be fine and dandy and all the way home. So Scott Redding looks as if he's going to win yet again and handsomely extends his championship lead. Well, by 25 points, in fact. He'll have a 29-point advantage. Scott Redding takes the checkered flag. First race winner here at Snetterton. Second place for Josh Brooks. Third place for the gallant Taron McKenzie, who really took the battle to the Ducatis. And FS3 Kawasaki, Danny Buchan keeps up his scintillating form in fourth place. Terrific ride by the youngest of the Irwin boys. Andy Irwin crosses the line in fifth, ahead of Xavi Forrest, Luke Mossey, Peter Hickman, Oh, Hickman got the better of Mossy. Hickman ousted Mossy on the final lap. O'Halloran got the better of both Iden and Laverty, but Iden got the better of Laverty as they flashed across the line. So Iden